Hey, yeah,
So
so
we are
JJ.
recording, you guys. We were recording.
Yeah.
It is
Hey, listen.
8:05, and we are going live. We are live on the Kong Family Show right here today. We are so excited. We have such a special guest today, and I'm not even going to introduce her. I'm going to let my brother Shawn introduce her. But before we do that, we got to introduce the Kong Family Show. We have the Kong family. We have this really simple goal. And it's really an exciting goal, and it's simple. And a lot of people think we're crazy, but hey, that's okay because we know it's happening. We're watching it happen every single day. And that goal, you guys, that goal is simply to change the world. That's our goal. And how are we going to do that, Shawn?
1 glass of Kangen water, 9.5 at a time. And if you're frisky, a little 11.5 will grease the old zerts. You know what I'm saying?
Amen. And one lightning bolt in a box, and one incredible, awesome, loving individual at a time. And so with that, my brother Shawn, would you be so kind as to introduce our guest today?
It would be my pleasure. You know, it's funny. You talk about lightning bolt in a box, and you're referring to that exceptional technology that is Enagic's water ionizers. But folks, today, for the first time on the Kong Show, we have an exceptionally live wire lightning bolt in the box, and she goes by the name of Philip Harp. Or wait, no, that's what it says on the thing. Actually, she goes by the name of Loretta McCauley Harp, and Philip is her knight in shining armor, but he was unfortunately unable to join us this morning. So we are going to roll with it like Steve Winwood. And welcome to the show, this lovely lady. How are you?
Oh, I am doing amazing this morning. How about you guys?
Yeah, we're killing it up here. You know, my man's in Utah. Yeah, I got to give you a little preface on JJ. Wide open. Wide open. So just get it, because my man is like a hard-nosed saddle bronc, man. He just bucks, and he gives a HooDeeHoos, and he tries to throw people off, and he's just a wild old stallion, this guy. But no, you know, it's funny, JJ and I just kind of figured this out a few months back, and, you know, he's down in Utah, somebody else's organization, just a couple years on board. We just kind of came together like peanut butter and chocolate, and, you know, a few nuts and bananas in the middle, and the Kong Show is exactly what we've come up with. So we've been really blessed to have some good guests, but yeah, I'm telling you, this one here, special place in my heart. I don't care if it was Orlando, I don't care if it was Anaheim, I don't care if it was Vegas. Every time I go to one of these events Enagic's had over the years, I've run into these guys, and we always just kind of end up flocking together. I don't know what it is, birds of a feather. But yeah, these guys are exceptional, and it's just a real pleasure to have you on the show this morning, honey, especially on such late night notice. I've been painting, helping my brother's gig. I hit this girl up last night like the last pork chop in the fridge, man. And I'm like, hey, you want to get on the Kong Show tomorrow morning? She's like, yeah, sure. God bless her. So yeah, you know, this is what we do here. Obviously, JJ's kind of the guy in the driver's seat. I'm his Tonto. I'm his Robin, so to speak, co-pilot style. So he has a certain protocol that he likes to take care of as we go through this. I just like to handle some of the pleasantries and kind of set the tone. So we've got ourselves a nice little velvet blanket out. We've got theme music, and we're going to kill the Kong Water Show because it's nothing but a 9.5 kind of day. Can I get an amen from the congregationes?
Amen! Amen! Yeah!
Got a girl. Hey, yeah,
I love it. Kong's water, baby.
Water. Get it?
Well, you know, Loretta, I got to tell you, why do I call it Kong's water? Well, because that beautiful little lady that's inside that lightning bolt in the box, she says, Kangen water, 9.5. Kangen water, 8.5, right? She doesn't say Kangen water. She says Kangen water. And so that big gorilla automatically came to mind. And I thought, you know, You know how that big gorilla got so big? He was running around out there in the jungle, and he was sticking his head in there at the base of those waterfalls and drinking Kong's water right there in nature. And, you know, so it's like, no wonder that guy got so big. And so anyway, it was just something that I had to have some fun with. And people get confused by it, and that's okay, because that way it gives me a chance to meet them and explain to them about that big old gorilla. And so he's my mascot, and he's my brother, just like my brother Shawn right here. And Shawn, thank you so much for getting Loretta in here today, because this is, I have a feeling this is going to be a real treat for everybody that's out there on the live feed, watching right now on the Kong family page. And then the people, this is being recorded. Amazingly enough, my little knucklehead managed to hit that record button. HooDeeHooo, gotta love it. And so we're going to share this out to YouTube and the world, and it'll be here for days, weeks, months, and years to come. And you never know whose life we might change. And like I always like to tell people, what got me involved with Kong and water, it wasn't the facts and the figures and the technicalities or any of that stuff. It was a story from the beautiful Brittany Dykes. She put out her story, and that changed my life forever. And until that point, I was ignoring it. I thought it was stupid. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was insane. And I didn't want anything to do with it. And that one story came along, and boom, everything was changed. And so because of that, here at the Kong Family Show, that's our goal, is we want to bring awesome people in here to tell their stories. And so where I like to start when it comes to people's stories is the part that I'm always most curious about. I would love to know how, when, and why you decided to get involved with Kong and water, and were you a skeptical knucklehead like me?
Absolutely, I was, JJ. I loved hearing all of your stories. I'll reiterate one in a minute about the Kong, why you call it the Kong family. But actually, so my husband, Philip, who Shawn knows very well, he is a fantastic guy, and he loves me dearly, and I am so very grateful for that, because I was sick. And I was a big water drinker, but you know, as we know now, not all water is created equal. So even though I was a big water drinker, and I seriously, you guys, I don't drink coffee. I know a lot of people are like, what the heck, you know, but caffeine and I just don't get along very well. I kind of joke around. I could have never been a very good crackhead. I love my sleep way too much, you know. So, but anyway, so I was a big water drinker. Philip drank coffee. He drank Mountain Dews, and he did this all day long, but yet he had no energy. Me, on the other hand, it wasn't that I didn't have energy. I just had a lot of issues going on. And so his friend, who actually is a long distance cousin, told him about this water. Well, he asked me to go, and I was like, that is such a scam. You are about to get scammed. And I just kept telling him, don't buy. Whatever you do, don't buy. So he actually went to the demo without me. Michelle Rayleigh actually came to our little hometown. Probably it has been 11 years this month. We've had our beautiful 501, and now, of course, now we have our K8 sitting on our countertop. But so whenever he showed me the price of this, I, needless to say, was a little bit irritated, because I needed a new washer and dryer desperately. And then he buys this water device that has this amazing water. And, you know, I mean, I was perfectly satisfied with drinking my filtered water out of my refrigerator. Had absolutely zero benefits for me, but I was happy drinking it, you know, and I was on several different medications. So needless to say, we went in there to the computer, we're looking at this, and of course, you know, all these other knockoffs start popping on saying we are just like this, only half the price. And so I'm like, that's for me. We don't need to spend that much money. Let's buy one that says it's exactly like this product for half the price. So I can still get a washer and dryer, you know? And so anyway, my husband, and thank God he actually has, you know, a little bit more sense than I do when it comes to really doing research. So he kept digging and he said, my question is, why do they keep pointing at this company? Why do all of them keep pointing at Enagic? Why do they keep doing that? You know, and I was like, well, maybe they've been around longer. And so he kept looking. At any rate, long story short, he bought the device. I start drinking it. I start feeling a little bit different, because when you drink this water fresh out of the machine, you're going to notice a difference. And so anyway, it literally transformed me. I don't know, I'm going to try to pull a picture up, you guys, and show you what I look like before the Kangen water. Because it really is a life changer. And a lot of people, you know, you can see it on the outside. And for me, I'll see if you guys can see that. I don't know how well you can see it.
Wow.
But so that was me at age 47. And I'm 60 years old today.
Come on.
I've lost 40 pounds. And I kind of fluctuate with that a little bit, especially when we travel to these places that have great food, because my husband and I are connoisseurs of delicious food. So anyway, but I'm going to get back, exactly, Shawn. So I'm going to get back on board and get to exercising and follow our friend Sam Tran is doing a, get yourself back in shape. And so I am going to do that with that man. But I'll tell you what, this has been a fantastic, absolute fantastic journey. Now, I was very skeptical, not only about the water, but I was more skeptical about the business, because my husband and I had, Philip actually did, Amway. Philip did Amway for a while, way before I knew him. I think he did okay in the business, but whenever Philip and I got married, and you know, I started having these health issues, my husband starts looking. We had a friend from Georgia who got us connected with a product called Relive. Now, it's an amazing product, but the compensation plan doesn't even come close to what Enagic has. So did I know that? No, I didn't have a clue. And so when Philip, after 2 years of having our device, he never drank the water, you guys. He bought that for me because he wasn't a water drinker. He drank Mountain Dew and coffee and was still tired and exhausted all day long. So our good friend, who was not connected in our line at all, we're all connected in the Enagic family, but he got absolutely no benefit from us doing this business whatsoever. He just loved us. We loved him. For 2 years, this man kept coming by and saying, you know, hey, you guys sharing that water with anybody? You know, nah, we're just drinking it, Sam. We're keeping our job. And so anyway, he finally hit Philip at the right time. Philip had been struggling with this, and Philip worked for himself, but we were pouring money into this company and we weren't making any money. We had put a lot of money into this and weren't making anything. Me, I continued my job. I was a makeup artist and a rep for L'Oreal, which a lot of people don't understand. L'Oreal is a big company. It doesn't just sell out of Walmart and Walgreens. It's actually Estee Lauder, Clinique, Ralph Lauren, Armani, those. So I had a really good job that paid me fairly well. So I was happy doing that, you know. I was happy getting my weekly paycheck and working my butt off, mind you. And so Sam just hit Philip up at the right time. Sam told Philip how much money he was making, and that was all it took. And so Philip told me he was going to do the business, and I was like, that's awesome, honey. You know, give him one of those pats on the back, you know. That's great. You just go for it. I'm going to sit back and watch it. I'm keeping my job, you know. And so that's what I did for probably 4 years. Well, he busted his butt for a year, and, you know, we made a little bit of money. But let me tell you, after I think it was the 11th month, I'm the one who picked up the mail. And I would see these checks coming in, you know, every once in a while. Well, we got a friend on board who really took off with this business. We were getting checks every day, and he was in our 5A lane. So those checks were pretty dadgum good. And so and I'm not joking whenever I say we were getting like 3 to probably 6 checks every single day. Let me tell you, that will wake you up. And then when you open it and see the amount, that'll really wake you up. And so he invited me. He was in there for close to a year. Another lady that lived in the area asked us if we would want to be part of a booth. It was a women's health event, something like that. I can't remember. Oh, it was the Women's Living Expo. And so it's stuff that I did on a regular basis with my business. And so, of course, you know, I was curious, but I wasn't about to give up my job yet. And so I just started asking Philip, you know, I just started asking him if he had all the necessities it needs to make a booth attractive that people are going to want to come and see, because that's what I did. I would go and I would fix the tables and just make it look amazing for the women to come in. And I've got a really big voice and I can pull people in. So anyway, he starts telling me, you know, no, I don't have this, I don't have this. And I was like, well, heaven's sakes, you're going to fail. I have to go help you, you know? And so I did. And so I helped him for the weekend. We actually sold 2 that weekend, like that. And then he told me how much money we made, because at this time he had already approached 6A. We had went out to Torrance and picked up his, Anaheim rather. We had picked his $3,000 bonus for becoming a 6A. And so he told me how much money I made doing that. And then he said, do you realize, he said, that was probably a month's worth of work for you. He said, do you want to still keep working for L'Oreal? And so I was kind of like, I wasn't ready to give it up. And so I went very part-time and then did this more. But I can honestly tell you, I was not very good at this whenever I first started, because I had the salesman mentality. And so I was just puking everything I knew about this water on every single person that even gave me the time of day. And so I have learned a lot over the years that we have 2 ears and a mouth for a reason. And so I have, I come on full board with Philip in the last 4 years. And my husband is a 6A4, 2, soon to be a 3, and I am a 6A2, going 6A2 this year, -2. So we, and I can honestly tell you, you know, you guys, I absolutely love to tell people about how fantastic this business is, but just like any business, you're going to have your lulls, and you have to work. You have to work. You can't expect to pull these good people in and let them do all the work, and you sit back and just go, you know, oh yeah, let that money roll in. No, you have got to continue to work yourself. We have a very good friend who was doing really, really well with us. As a matter of fact, he got up to a 4A, and then he saw this little sparkle over here, and he took off, and he took everybody that he brought in with him. But that little sparkle kind of started fading, and it's been a year and a half, and he's back. But in the process, you get out there and you find these people that are affected by this, that do see the true vision of health, your wealth, and then your relationships. And so we have got a couple of people that are literally on fire now. And so my husband and I, what we decided, because in that lull time, you've got to get out there. You have to network, because after you've hit your warm market, all you have is your cold market. And sometimes they are ice cold. So you got to find a way to get in there and break the barrier. So I joined a BNI, which I like BNI really well. It is a little pricey because they do keep going up with their prices and stuff like that. And needless to say, I did sell a few machines out of there, but I'm going with another group that is really, really going strong now. It's called the MOB Group, Masterminds of Business. And so it's not as expensive. And so what I'm doing is I am actually going around to a lot of these networking things. I'm meeting these people, inviting them to come and, you know, see our presentations, because we actually do we were doing weekly demonstrations, but it was a little much. We wouldn't have people show up. So we scaled back to monthly demos. And then once we start really getting a big crowd, we're going to start doing, you know, bi-monthly, you know, at least twice a month. Because then now we've got people calling us going, when's your next meeting? I've got friends I want to bring. So it's really going fantastic. We've got a lady in a CBD oil store here that is just, you know, her and her fiance are so excited because of the fact that they saw what it did for their mom, you know. And when people see how it literally transforms lives, it's, you know, I mean, there's nothing like it. You cannot be quiet about this. You know, it's just like a fantastic restaurant that you go eat at and you've had the best food that you've ever had in your life. What are you going to do? You're going to keep it to yourself? Heck no. You tell your friends, oh my gosh, have you been to this restaurant? It is the most amazing restaurant. I'll go with you. You know, that's how good it is. So that's what you do with this water. You share it. But something that Sam Tran said that just totally blew me away the other day whenever you were on that call too, JJ. I wasn't being a very difficult customer when he was trying to sell to me. It threw me off whenever he read my question. So I actually thought that he wanted me to tell him what was going on with my mother-in-law instead of me, you know, playing the difficult person role, because I was the difficult person. So I know that, you know. He said that you ask them, you listen to what it is that they need. Ask them how they're doing. When they start telling you their problem, you don't throw out your solution right away. And something that he said he does not mention water. He just says, I have something, you know, may help you. I don't know. Then you see if they're interested. And so I'll tell you what, I'm grateful that Sam came whenever he did, and that he just happened to shout out at us, because we got our crew together. And even though I don't have a medical background, I sure don't have a scientific background at all. Even though science was my favorite subject in school, you know, I'm not a scientist. So people don't look at me as that. They look at me as the makeup girl, because that's what I was for years and years and years. so they don't look at me as all of a sudden I'm this water expert. I know everything about this water. No, but I'll tell you what, I've been listening for 11 years and I've got a lot of knowledge about it, but I don't have the degree hanging on my wall telling everybody I have a medical degree and this is why you should drink this water. So that's why we just share it and tell them, see what it does for you.
Right.
Come back and let me know. So yeah, so that's how we got into the business. And I'll tell you what, it's just staying plugged in, because once you trickle off, it's just like going to church. You don't go to church and you don't feed your soul with the word. You're gonna kind of stray a little bit. So you've got to keep plugged in, whether it's the calls, whether it's a Zoom call, whatever it is, whether it's a meeting that you go to. If you don't keep it coming in the feed of your brain, it's just not going to happen for you. Right. So we've got to put in, just like you were talking about, you put in good, positive things inside of your body, just like good food. Just like good food, your health is going to become better. Your thoughts become better with good, positive thoughts. What more can you ask for other than good water?
Amen. And hey, can I ask you, understanding the water as it is it safe to say that those good thoughts are permeated and cultivated and brewed in the 9-5 very well?
Are you kidding? Let me tell you guys. So on all the prescriptions that I was on, this was one of the first things that I noticed, because I was on 5 different prescriptions. Well, you know what? That junk fogs this right here up, and you cannot think like you're supposed to think, like our brains actually operate. So after I'd been drinking the water for literally about a week, I would call my time in, and I would register it in on the computer, and then I would call it in to give all of my numbers and everything like that. Well, I would get this long confirmation number, and I'm talking, it was probably at least 20 numbers and letters combined. I would have to hit that thing like 3 times to make sure that I had my confirmation number correct, because if I didn't get paid, I had to give them that confirmation number whenever I called. So my husband was sitting in the love seat. I was sitting in my chair. I call in my time. I wrote every single letter and number down just like that. It freaked me out so much. I looked at my husband. I was like, oh my God, did you just see what happened? Did you see that? And it was just amazing to me. And all I could think of was that song, I can see clearly now the rain is gone, and it was just fantastic. And that's exactly how I felt. And it's still how I feel today. Because I can get out of that bed, I don't need coffee. I really don't. As you can tell, I don't need coffee. I get up every day and I just look forward to what is coming. That's what we have to do. We have to put our mindset on as to, who can I help today? Who is going to come into my life today? So I literally, you guys, I pray every single night and day, and I just give it over to the Lord. Who are you going to bring into my life today, Lord, that I can bless with what I have? Because I've been blessed with something so much bigger than just me, just you. You guys, this is it's something for everybody. And I love the fact that God is so intricate in our bodies, our work that he created in us. We are 75% water. So is the earth. Now, I can tell you, you guys, there is a new documentary out there that is an absolute must C for all of us water drinkers. This happened in Ohio in the 50s. DuPont. Now you guys go check this out because it is going to be a game changer for you. The name of the documentary is The Devil We Know. It is about DuPont and Teflon and how they were dumping that poison crap right into the river and then going to our water companies where they tried to filter it out. It could not be filtered out. So many people in this little town died because of cancer, because of the tumors that it was causing. And the correct, I can't remember exactly, but it's called C8. And I can't remember. I just watched it the other night when I got home really late, and Philip's like, you got to see this. And so we stayed up. It was a 2-hour documentary. I think it's PFHOs or something like that. I can't remember. But the F in this thing is what really, pardon my pun, but F's up pretty bad. You know, gets in your body and totally messes you up. Doesn't necessarily. I don't know that it does anything to you, but it will affect, in women, your fetus, and then in men it gets in you, and then you have a 50% chance of giving it to your unborn child. It's a very good documentary, but it literally shows that the government literally said that the amount of this stuff in the water was safe and not to be afraid. And the people they sent out letters to everybody in this little town and gave them 2 years to file a lawsuit if they had anything going on with them. Well, they get this letter, they read it, the government says that the levels in there are safe. Who do you think they're gonna trust? They're gonna trust the government. They say it's safe, I believe it. It's going to work, you know. It's not going to hurt me. And even if they did stop drinking it, you bathe in it, so it's going to get in you one way or another. Well, then they really started seeing people getting very, very sick, children born with birth defects. So then they started looking at it. They had a big, huge lawsuit, and it was it's in Ohio, and of course their court was in Columbus. So I don't know exactly the little town that DuPont, and I don't think it was that small because there was a lot of people there. And the guy literally says, you know, you can't go out there and threaten someone's livelihood. This was a big company. It employed thousands of people. And then you're coming in and you're going to tell them that there's something wrong with that company, and they were probably going to lose their jobs. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They're going to block you. They don't want to hear that. Mm-hmm. And so we have to be that positive messenger out there. And so I've got a good friend who lives in Dayton, and she said their water is horrible, and she said that they do so much testing on this water. There's a reason why they do the testing on that water, you guys. And there's a reason why they do the testing on our water anywhere we live. Here in Arkansas, we have Tyson to deal with. We are in one of the biggest trucking companies in the world, but we are in the chicken capital of the world because Tyson, this is their headquarters. We've got Walmart headquarters, we've got Tyson headquarters, we've got J.B. Hunt headquarters here. It's a booming little area right here. But Tyson is the one that you worry about because they dump the chicken junk literally right in our rivers. And let me tell you, we've got some beautiful rivers and lakes here, and they're destroying them, you know, with the junk that they put in there. They think it's just going to wash down river, but it doesn't. And that's exactly what that documentary showed, that they were dumping that. They did I can't remember how big the area was that they went out, and they came back with so many bottles of water, and they found high levels of this C8 in waters 40 miles down from dumping it. Now, they shut the DuPont down. They don't make that anymore, but they've actually sold to another company called Chemtour, I do believe. Makes exactly the same chemical. They just named it something different. So you guys, we're ahead of the game whenever it comes to something like this. Oh gosh, I totally forgot. So we found out that the community wells
Love you.
in our area, in the Bella Vista area, which were a big community. It used to be 5 little towns that had, you know, quite a bit of separation in between them. Now they're just all, it's just all grown together. But Bella Vista's only about maybe 15 miles from us, and found out that their community well has cyanide in it, high levels of cyanide. You know, I mean, we all have arsenic in our water, but cyanide is a whole nother ball game. So we've got a friend who got on board with a machine he bought from Ramona Cagle. And this guy's really smart. He already had a whole filtration system put on his house because you could smell the sulfur in his water so strongly. Well, after finding out that there was cyanide in the well waters in that area, and he's on a well, you know, and it could seep into anybody's well, he had the health department come out. They checked his tap water. Then they checked his house water, his whole filtration house water, and then they checked the Kangen water. I can't remember exactly what the numbers were, but it was 0, 3 point something in the water. So it showed strong cyanide and arsenic. And then they checked the Kangen water, and then it was 0.001. So it had taken almost every bit of that junk out of that water and now made that drinking water safe. Let me tell you, I sing praises and hallelujah for that machine sitting on my countertop every frickin' day. And I am grateful that all 5 of our kids have one of those too, because I don't, you know, I don't worry about what they drink. You know, so it's really imperative that we find out as much as possible. Then that way we can be the messengers. Because when you have a piece of paper and the government tells you that it's safe, but you find out otherwise, you know, it's just not a good thing. It's just not a good thing. So I love the fact that a good friend of mine said that we are, oh gosh, we're hope dealers. We are hope dealers. We give people hope because we cannot live without water. There's no thing on this planet other than, I can't remember, I think it's a black scorpion from Africa that can live without water. Otherwise, no other thing on this planet can live without water. And so virtually everybody, everything is a potential customer, you know. So you go out and you just tell them the good news about this amazing life-giving instead of life-taking water. You know,
Right.
we have got, like Sam says, the Holy Grail on our counter.
Yeah.
And we've got to go out there and spread the word, you know.
You know, you'd be happy to know that Sam is he's on the Kong family page right now listening in. So he just heard everything you said.
Sam,
We've got
Brandon,
Brandon.
I am the man.
Well, he is amazing. And I'll tell you what I love about his heart is it's not just about him helping his team. He's coming out here. He's got somebody, and I'm so grateful that he actually found a doctor here that purchased a K from him, because that's how we ended up meeting him. And he has got such a great heart to come out and share this with everybody. And I'm so grateful because I don't have that scientist brain like he does. But
Not many of us
you know,
do.
yeah, right. And so, but the thing about it is, I have approached so many doctors, and they look at me like, you know, But just like Sam said, you know, they've gone to school for years and years. Yes, JJ, they've gone to school for years and years. They know all this amazing medical technology and everything like that. I don't know that. So they look at me, I'm this to them. I am this to them, you know, instead of being this, you know, instead of knowing, you know. I graduated high school, you guys. I didn't go to college. My family was not a very wealthy family. And when my dad had 3 heart attacks, my sisters and I, because there weren't very many boys in our family, but my sisters and I were all older. We went out there, we worked to help our family. And then I married at a very young age, you know, but you do what you got to do, you know, to survive. And so, you know, I know work, and this is not, it's not that it's hard. You just have to get people to try the water, because once they try it, that's why a lot of times that people say, you know, well, will it help this or will it help that? Tell them, I don't have a clue. Just try it and see what it does for you. Yeah. You know, because I can't make claims. We can't make claims. We can tell the story about what it did for us. And I can tell you, I have never been happier to rid all of my prescriptions and not go back to my doctor. As a matter of fact, my friend Ramona Cagle and I were in a car wreck going on, actually it was in March. Well, it was 3 years ago. My arm was hurt really bad. It didn't bother me that night, but the next day I that thing. And so I decided I better go see the doctor and see if I did anything to it. The doctor wouldn't even see me. I hadn't been to the doctor in 8 years, and he wouldn't even see me. I was no longer a patient, and none of the doctors in that facility would see me. I had to wait until April the 17th, and I'm like, I can't wait till April 17th. I was in a wreck March the 23rd. There's no way. So I go to a walk-in clinic. I don't have a doctor. I don't have a doctor. I don't need a doctor. So I guess if anything, you know, happened, I would have to go to the hospital, because I just don't. I don't have a doctor. So I am looking for a good natural doctor. So because my one in Springfield, she retired. She's a Congan lady, but she retired. It was a lot for her. She's 85, so I don't blame her.
Yeah. Well, I have a very big thing against doctors. That's how I refer to them. You know, back in 1993, I read the book World Without Cancer, and that changed my life forever. It made me understand just how horrific the doctor industry is, and they practice medicine. They don't practice health. They don't even know anything about health, and it drives me crazy. And you know, that's a huge part of why I do what I do. And you know, like you were talking about that friend of yours that was working it, and then he found the other shiny little object, the grass was greener over there, or whatever, and he stopped telling people about it. And the truth is that once you get involved with this family and you start drinking the water and you start seeing the results of it, if you're really into it, you can't stop telling people about it. You know, it's like Sam said, this is my life. You don't quit your life. You don't ever quit your life.
You saddle up and whip that horse.
Yeah, you keep talking about it. And that's the thing. I tell people, look, whatever, you're never going to hear the end of it, because it's never going to stop. This is my life. You quit your job. You change your job. You don't quit your life. You might change your life by changing your water, changing your thoughts, changing things that you do. Yeah, but you don't quit your life. And that's what this is all about. You know, this is life. This is, you know, like I put up a post on Facebook the other day. I said, and it basically, it's just another one of those many, many things I've learned from Sam. Sam, the Traminator, I love you, buddy. I love you so much, and I appreciate everything that you do for the family. But, you know, he said, I'm here to save your life. I'm not here to sell you something. I'm here to save your life. And the
Yes.
truth of the matter is if you're not ready or willing to save your own life, there's nothing I can do for you. I can't help you if you don't want to save your own life. And so that's one of the plights that we face. And I think the biggest aspect of helping people to understand how they can change their life is by sharing the stories of people whose lives have changed. And, you know, you're right. Like what you've been discussing here this morning is powerful stuff, because mostly what you've talked about is the business side of things. And then it's definitely helped you with your health. But for me, I've got curiosities. You were on 5 different medications. What were they? What was that all about? How did, you know, what happened there? I want to know what your health stories are, because quite frankly, when it comes right down to it, you guys, all the money in the world doesn't matter one bit if you don't have your health. And your health is simply the most important thing that there is out there on this planet for every single individual. And people will spend every dime they have. They have all this money and they'll literally go broke selling, you know, giving all of that money away to get their health back once they lose it. And so I think if we can get the stories out there about people who have gotten their health back simply by changing their water, by giving their machine this thing right here, this is the magic.
Yes.
This thing that God gave us. And, you know, Mr. Oshiro and God, they gave us this incredible tool, this incredible gift that is giving our bodies what they need so that they can heal themselves. Because that's the thing about this machine. It's designed to heal itself. Unlike pretty much every other machine on the planet that is not designed to heal itself, it's got to be fixed.
Yes.
Well, this baby fixes itself. What happened with you? What happened with your machine?
So let me tell you, JJ, at 5 years old, I started noticing that my food was literally coming up. Whenever I was outside playing with my friends, I thought I would burp. Well, then my food was just coming up. That's acid reflux. I found out whenever my youngest sister was born and I was 10 years old, it didn't dawn on me until literally probably about 15 years ago why I had acid reflux at such a young age. My mother, as soon as we were able to eat cereal, she would put butter and sugar in there. When you're that small, your body is not designed to have those chemicals, because at my age they were already processing sugar. You know, the processing industry had already started, which actually started, I can't remember, was it in the 40s that the grocery stores, whatever year that the grocery stores came into business was when preservatives and things like that were introduced into our food chain. So then that's when you really started seeing diseases come about. One of my very best friends at age 5 years old, her mother died from cancer. They ate TV dinners all the time. But anyway, back to my story. So I had acid reflux at 5 years old that never stopped, because once you start taking something for it, which I later learned is a proton inhibitor, that can really affect your body. And I had no idea. And I had been taking something starting out at 5 years old, of baking soda and water. And then, of course, just progressing as the years changed. You know, I went to Tums, Rolaids, Tagamet was the big thing in the 80s, Prilosec, and the Nexium. I didn't care for Nexium. I stuck with Prilosec, prescription strength. I had arthritis. My joints were turning and they were literally hurting me badly, you know, from the inflammation in my body. So then I got on Celebrex. I could not sleep. I had insomnia, so I took something called Doxepin, because I told my doctor, I don't want to get addicted to anything, as I was addicted to Prilosec and Celebrex. I didn't want to get addicted to something that, you know, crazy thinking. And then I had carpal tunnel. He gave me, I think it was Klonopam. And then I had to get a prescription for Miralax, because I couldn't eliminate anything that I put in my body. And I'm a great cook. The only problem is I was cooking like Paula Deen, and I started looking like Paula Deen, you know? I mean, believe me, I love butter like the next person, but dang, just take that 5 pounds and slap it on each thigh, and you know, that's what I was going through. And so literally, and the thing about it is, I didn't drink sodas. I drank nothing that had sugar in it at all. I ate a lot of sugar, but I didn't drink anything that had sugar. I preferred to eat it, you know, instead of drink my calories. So, but anyway, the water literally transformed me. And it can transform anybody who will, you know, open their minds and literally try it. There's something I wanted to tell you guys really quickly, because you mentioned the C word, because that's hit our family and it hit us hard. I lost my granddaughter, our granddaughter, 4 years ago. That child, she was our firstborn grandchild. There's a reason why they call them grand, because you never had anything that grand in your life ever. So whenever that child came into our lives, she was absolutely the center of our universe. And so when she came down with cancer at age 12, it absolutely devastated me. And we went to the Arkansas Children's Hospital. And now I want you guys to hear the name of this doctor that treated her and that I went head to head with like nothing else, because I'm a force to be reckoned with when you mess with me. So his name was Chemo Stein.
Oh my
and
Lord.
As we were sitting in this little room and he was talking to my daughter and I, of course, I was questioning him as to how they were going to treat her. And he said, of course, with chemo and radiation. And I looked at him and I said, this is a $1 billion industry that gets billions of dollars poured into it for research as to how to better treat cancer with, but you're still treating it exactly the same way. He said, no, he said they've changed quite a bit. I said, but they still have the same name and the same chemicals that go into her body. And then he looked at me and he said, you're the grandmother, right? And I said, yes, I am. And he said, you have absolutely no say-so in this matter. He said, it's up to your daughter and your granddaughter. Let me tell you, it took an act of God to shut my mouth. And then at that time, my phone rang, and it was Robert Wright from the author of Killing Cancer, Not People. And I went out and talked to him. And then my other friend, Susan Blackard, who is a brilliant, she used to be my natural doctor. She's not a doctor. She was a nurse practitioner. And that woman was absolutely amazing. And so while I was out talking to both of them, Dr. Chemo Stein let my daughter and my granddaughter know, even though he asked my granddaughter, because I told him, I said, there's natural approaches to this that are not near as harsh on the body that I would love to try. And this was what I was telling him, you know, before we start this. And so he asked my granddaughter, who was 12 years old, what would you like to do, Asia? And she said, I would like to try the natural route. But when I was outside talking to Robert Wright, he literally told my daughter and my granddaughter, you do realize if you choose to leave, he said, we can take you to court and we will win. So they literally threatened people into doing this. And in 8 short months, they took my granddaughter's life. But the first 4 months that she was in the hospital, I moved in that hospital. I called my husband and I said, pack a bag for me. I said, I'm not leaving here until she does. Bring me a machine, which I actually already had one. But I said, bring me solution, bring me Ukon. I gave him a list of everything that I needed. And I started treating my granddaughter there. I moved in that hospital. I slept on that actually, I slept right in the bed with her. But I treated that child for 4 months. And in October, she went in July the 2nd. And we left there October the 21st, and she had very little signs of her cancer, but she was 12 years old. She went back to eating because I was feeding her. I did not allow her to eat the hospital food at all because it's crap. All they had for those kids was ice cream, popsicles, candy, just Boost, all this junk that they were giving them that actually feeds cancer. So I took my happy butt and I would drive to Whole Food and I would buy that child food and I would fix it for her. They let her go after 4 months, but like I said, she was a child and she wanted candy, she wanted pizza, she wanted soda. And so in 4 months, it took her life, and there wasn't anything that we could do about it. But that's all right. I know where she is. I know who she's with, and I know that she is absolutely in the best place that she can be right now. And I literally can't wait to see her, because I have faith and I believe, you know, that our God, he's the man,
Ultimate
and
healer.
his word is true. So I might get sad a little bit, you know, every once in a while, because I miss her. I've got a picture of her right back there. You guys can see it. That's her right. Oh,
I got
right
you.
there.
I
And
got
then
you.
that is my husband's son, who passed away in a motorcycle wreck. But they're always here, and she lives in my heart. And I've got even a stronger reason to go out and talk to people.
So she ended up having cancer at 12, but she ended up living. It looks like she's a lot older than 12 in that picture, correct?
No, she passed away at age 13. They found it July the 2nd. And we went to the hospital down there, and we left after 4 months. And then when my daughter and my son-in-law realized that what I was doing was a lot better than what the doctors were doing, they brought her out, but it was too far gone. It was in her bones. It was all over her body.
Wow.
So we you know, we couldn't do anything else. You know, we were with her, and let me tell you, it's something that I never, ever, ever want to go through again.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm a big, huge advocate for this water, and I'm not saying that this water cures cancer, but even if somebody goes through chemo and radiation, it's absolutely the best thing that you can do for your body, period, in a nutshell. Nobody will ever tell me any differently. I witnessed what it did. I am a subject that the water has transformed. I saw it transform my granddaughter, because believe me, every 30 minutes she was drinking 8 ounces of water. I was giving her Himalayan salt. I was giving her 10 Ukon a day. It ended up being 20 Ukon a day when she came back out here. But it just, you know, once cancer, you know, when it gets in your bones and all over your body, you can't stop it. You can't. So, but
yeah, it is a tragic thing, that's for sure. Cancer is one of those tough ones that it's entirely preventable, but once it gets to its, you know, like Dr. Barry Aw says, there are no incurable diseases, but there is a point of no return. Yeah. And sometimes, you know, what probably happened for your granddaughter, though, is that she probably didn't suffer anywhere near the miserable death that she would have suffered had she kept going with the chemo and the radiation. She would have had tremendous pain, and I would imagine that through what you were doing for her, that it probably helped her a lot in regards to the quality of the life that she had left. Am I correct?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the only thing that I wanted. You know, I wanted to get her in front of somebody who had a little bit more knowledge about this than me. And that's why I reached out to Robert Wright and to Susan Blackard, because they both had worked in the medical industry. They have a lot more knowledge about, you know, treating something like that. And I am not somebody that does this. That is
Tunnel vision.
the average person who listens to the doctor who says, we're going to go in there, we're going to eradicate this, we're going to go in there and we're going to get that, we're going to bust that out of there right now. We got to attack this as strong as it is. But the thing about it is, her little body was not able to handle that. As a matter of fact, when they first started her on that, the lady did not get, one of the nurses did not give her the anti-nausea medication.
Oh.
And she went into shock, and her body was sepsis. And I had drove back home. My daughter and son-in-law were there with her because Philip didn't bring everything I wanted. It's a 4-hour drive. I came back and got all of my stuff and got the call from my daughter, and I literally jumped in my car and went back. But my daughter would not allow me to see her because it was a pretty scary looking thing, what she, everything she was hooked up to. My daughter's a strong, beautiful, God-loving woman like nothing else. And she didn't get it from me because I didn't go to church for a really long time. So I love my daughter and the faith that she has. But, God's good. And he created this water. That was the only thing he created for us to drink. I had somebody else laugh and say, no, he created wine. I said, no, he created the grapes. He taught man how to make wine. He created water for our body. That is what our bodies are made of. That's what our bodies should have in them. Not everybody. Believe me, I have a sister-in-law who drinks nothing but soda and coffee, and Lord, it shows. And she will, they have a machine. Her husband drinks it, but she won't. And so it was really funny the other day. She asked me, she was like, I need some desperate help with my skin. What kind of moisturizer do you use? And I said, Changin water. I said, just drink it. Just drink it and spray the beauty water. You'll be good. But she's just not a water drinker. And bless her heart, she's just, I just love the heck out of her, but I just want to shake her because she's just a lovely person. But dang, I can't imagine. I really cannot imagine not having water. But I've always been a water person. As I grew up, my family, they loved tea. I did drink Kool-Aid as a child, but I don't drink the Kool-Aid anymore, any of it. But they were all coffee and sweet tea and Kool-Aid drinkers. I drank a little bit of Kool-Aid, but I was always the water drinker, So I'm grateful for that I did not have that addiction to sodas like a lot of people have, or caffeine rather too. So.
Well, to reach out to her from me, I want to, if she happens to see this down the road, which hopefully she will, I was never a water drinker either. Until Kong, I was never a water drinker. I figured I get my water from my Coke, my Sprite, my beer, my tequila, my power drink, my energy drink, my Red Bull, my Gatorade. That stuff's all got water in it, and so I'm good to go. And I never drank water. And then we invested into this machine, and that changed everything. I went, hey, I just invested $4,000. I'm going to drink the water. And I started drinking the water. And I wanted nothing to do with the business in the first place. Nothing. I had 3 other companies I was running at the time, and I've shut all 3 of those down now. But I didn't want anything to do with the business until I started drinking the water. And then I had to start learning about it. Once I started learning about it, and quite frankly, when I found out the origin of Kangen water has its roots in the exact same place as the book World Without Cancer, that was when everything changed right then and there. When I found out that the roots of this were in Russian and Japanese scientists in the land of Hunza, that was it. I immediately just jumped headfirst into it, and I realized I got to share this water. I've got to share this water. This is the key to life. This is something that I have to do, and I've been doing it full time ever since. And it's been the biggest blessing in my life. And, you know, I know that it's, I can just feel the passion from you, that it's very much been that exact same situation for you. And I'm just blessed that you're willing to come here and share this information with people. And, you know, so as you know, Shawn, do you have anything that you'd like to mention to Loretta?
No, I mean, you know, bottom line is I'm just sitting back, giggling under my breath, going, you could not have asked for a better interview with this gal. I told you she was dynamite. You know what I mean? She comes in, she brings it, she keeps it real, and she's unapologetic for the truth and the experience she's gone to. So many people get kind of tentative and they're afraid to tell people. And no, I love her conviction. And I think at the end of the day, you know, this is so shareable with so many people out there, too hard-headed, too obstinate. You know, some people just, I mean, I believe some people are just on a slow suicide mission. The people that cannot embrace this, and I don't mean that to be light. I don't mean that to be dismissive or mocking. It kills me, you know, to hear, you know, a guy I know that was 290, 5'10", and I'm trying to get him to drink the water. And at one point in time, he orders, you know, I come by to refill him one day, and he's got 2 Big Macs, the whole deal, 2 Big Macs, large fry, the sundae or the shake that goes with it. He just was crushing it. And I'm like, dude. And he's like, well, we all got to leave this merry-go-round sometime. And he says, I just soon like to eat. And I looked at him, and I just, at that point in my head, I just went, okay, you cannot dunk this cat's head in, you know. And so I just love her conviction. I love her compassion. You know, I didn't really want to say much. I knew with Loretta, she's so self-directed. She so gets it. I'm just sitting back, and I'm pissed off I didn't grab any popcorn and any snacks for this show, because this is as good a documentary as one can have, you know. So I do have my Kangen, and I do have my Kangen coffee, but it's crazy. She talks about coffee. I used to drink a pot a day to wake up and all that stuff. Now my coffee tastes unbelievably better, and I might have a couple cups. Yeah. Because I don't need it. I do it for the, you know, taste, and I get a kick out of it and whatever, but I don't get a kick out of it caffeine-wise. Have a couple cups, and I'm crushing water the rest of the day, you know. But, yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better, you know, interviewing subject. You are amazing. I know you're not done. I know you got to hit her with the question. I got to hear this one. Go ahead. Hit her with your final question as to any nuggets she can lay on us, or what she can slap somebody in the face with at the end of the day when she's trying to give them the truth.
Yeah, you know, this is my favorite question that I get to ask everybody. And if people come on the you know, a lot of times when people agree to come on the show, they want to know what kind of questions I'm going to ask, what the format's going to be, and that kind of stuff. And I tell them, but I don't ever tell them this question. And I can't wait to hear your answer, because somehow I think you're going to have something really special to throw out there with us. And I'm excited for this. But I love to ask people, you've got somebody that's potentially interested. They're maybe
on the fence,
one side of the fence, or maybe just on the middle, you know, and you've got one thing that you can say to them that is the most important thing that you think that you could say to them. You've got one thing you can say to make or break it, whether they're going to get on the, you know, whether they're going to get that flight suit and jump off the cliff with you, or whether they're going to go back into their hole. What is it? What do you say to them? What's that one thing?
Well, I can honestly tell you that I was scared to death to ask for the closing, you know, for the sale. I would just, like, you know, I would claim up. I would have rather taken them water for the rest of their lives than ask for the sale, you know. And so my husband told me, he said, you got to just ask them. You got to just ask them. And so anyway, but with some people, it's not quite that easy. So you do have to kind of dig a little bit, you know, and just ask them, you know, what's the most important thing to you right now? You know, whether it be their kids, you know, their job or whatever, you know, then you kind of lead into it, you know, how's your job security? Are you going to be able to retire whenever you want to? But I don't have the best closing technique. As a matter of fact, I actually asked Sam Tran because there's a guy that I have a machine in his CBD oil store, and he's a very brainy guy. You know, he's more along the science. And so I asked Sam, I was like, you know, I don't know how I'm going to close this guy, you know. And so, but I think whenever I go pick up my machine, I'm just going to talk to him because he's a younger guy. He doesn't have a lot of health issues. But the thing about it is, it's about prevention. So if we talk to people about prevention and what, you know, what they can gain from prevention, then they don't have to deal a lot with these, you know, possibly deal with these things that might hit them, you know, that's coming up. So I literally just try to find out what is the most important thing in their life. And I can honestly tell you that we, so my husband and I invested, we actually bartered with this beautiful, these friends of ours. They're amazing people. They do Salad Master. So when she found out about our water and I found out about her cookware, we ended up bartering. Well, she and her husband are the ones who told us about the documentary, The Devil We Know. And so after watching that, it was so funny because right before Shawn sent me the message about getting on your Zoom today, she sent me, I actually told her, thank you for recommending the documentary. You know, our water is so important to us. She sent me a message back and she was like, I want to get one for my 2 kids, you know, because you see the importance of the water. I mean, my gosh, after you guys see this documentary, you guys got to let me know what you think about it, because it's going to absolutely blow your mind what they do and what they conceal from us. So we have to be our own advocates and do our own research, because we only have one of these. Oh, I've got to tell you something really quick. I totally forgot.
Bring it.
So at one of these meetings that we have, what I do, I stood up in front of, it was, the meeting was pretty much done, but I just asked everybody before they got up. I asked them, I said, can you tell me how many vehicles you have owned in your lifetime? And so I had one guy said, oh gosh, I've owned like 15. You know, this other lady said, I've owned 5. Well, I've owned at least 6 different vehicles since Philip and I have been together. But my point was, you buy one of these devices that people look at that are so expensive, but that's all you buy. You do not have to buy another device. If you take care of this device, you maintain it, you will be handing it down to your grandchildren, possibly your great-grandchildren. That's how well made these devices are. You say that about your car. Can you say that about your refrigerator, your oven? Let me tell you, Philip and I have bought 4 new freezers in 20 years. I guarantee we spent more than $4,000 on a freezer, on our freezer since we've been together. You know, we have more than one Kangen unit because we put them in people's homes. But my point is, you only need one. Yeah. This device is built to last. When Mr. Oshiro made this, it's not junk. You don't throw it away. But I can tell you the money that we've saved, we have saved an incredible amount of money because I no longer have my copay. I no longer have to put that poison crap that they tell you is safe, although they'll spit out 30 minutes of side effects as bad gum drugs that they tell you. But I loved what Sam said. They hook you because your vision is what you see first. So those commercials that people set in front of the dadgum squawk box, that is just, it's literally a, it pulls most people in. They cannot get away from their television. Do I have one? Yes. Do I watch it all the time? Heck no. I do love my garden. I have to watch that occasionally. But, you know, we get into a mindset of what the world thinks that we should do.
Yeah.
And that box is one of them. We don't need to get our information from that box because like Sam said, when they have those commercials, and I can remember as a kid, because I am 60, we only had 3 channels. It went off at midnight. It didn't go on all night long. But when Sam said, when you see these commercials, they're not sad commercials about people being sick. They're commercials of people walking on the beach, sitting in a bathtub, holding your hand with your wife or your husband, having a glorious time. Then they give you 30 seconds of the crap that it's going to do to you. And what kills me is don't take it if you're allergic to it. How the hell do you know you're allergic to it unless you take it? For heaven's sakes.
Bless your heart.
So anyway, I love that little analogy about the whole car situation because we can do that with anything, with absolutely anything, not just our cars, but our refrigerators, our oven, you know, whatever it may be. You know, we're going to purchase a lot of those. So I don't know, maybe my next question, you know, for somebody to close somebody is how soon will it be before you buy another vehicle?
Nice. Yeah. And they cost a lot more than $4,000.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And they're nothing like they used to be made at all. Nothing at all. So, you know, they're made for us just like our cell phones. You know, you get a few years uses out of your cell phone, and you got to go back and you got to upgrade because your old one, the battery's done. They do that for a reason, but you know. Anyway, I'm sorry I kind of got off track there, JJ, talking about that. But as far as closing, I think we just really have to use our ears, and you know, if somebody is sitting on the fence, take it away for a little while. Let them do without it. We actually did that too. I did a short little video yesterday. A friend of ours who is in Habitat for Humanity. This woman's been drinking the water for about 3.5 weeks. And we stopped delivering it to her. Let me tell you, just like that, can't do without that water. She's a young single mom, but she really saw the benefits of it. And so you just take it away for a little while, and then they'll come back around usually. And if not, then you know what? They're not part of your tribe. You know, just like Sam says, there's billions of people in this world. We don't have to focus on the donkeys like he says. You know, you get out there and you find the people that are interested. You find the people that are. What do you got? What beast you got there, Shawn?
Yo, Mr. T trying to take over my scene. He just wants to cuddle all damn day. And I've got cords. I've got all this tea. What are you doing, man? Go ahead.
He's the coolest cat on the planet.
Look, at the very least, I just want to show you this. Look at that thumb. So when I get out of line, he just slaps Dad in the chops. But he just loves to cuddle because he's a good, furry little stuffed animal that's alive.
That's awesome.
You know, that's the thing. Is like my kitty. I have a 22. He was 22 pounds 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago when we got our Kong machine. He was 22 pounds. He's 15 years old. He was docile. He was barely moving around. He was only going, you know, he really just only moved around to go poo and go eat and go pee. And that was it. He wasn't doing anything. And we really thought, well, we're not going to have much more time with him. And then we started making him drink Kong's water.
Yep.
And now he's completely different. He's down to 15 pounds. He's running around all over the place. He's going outside again. He's chasing our little baby kitty all over the place. It's classic. And, you know, it's just, this water is such a blessing in so many ways. And, you know, like what you talked about with that video, I'm going to get that. I got to watch that, The Devil We Know. But the truth of the matter is nothing surprises me anymore because back in 1993, when I read that book, World Without Cancer, it changed everything, because there's so much evil out there, and government is the very last thing in the world that anybody should trust. It is the most horrific entity that the world has ever known. And there's only one reason why cancer exists in this world today, and that's because of the United States government. If it weren't for the United States government, it wouldn't even exist at all. And they've literally, through their fraud and death administration and their CDC and all their blatant, horrible institutions, they've literally perpetrated the disease and made sure that it will exist, and that they will kill people, and that there will be this billion-dollar industry. And that's something where we are in the process of changing that, and it is happening. We are going to change the world, and it's not a matter even of going to, it's happening. We're seeing it every single day. Every single day we're posting out posts. Yesterday, Shawn changed 2 people's lives in this world. His group changed 2 more families' lives, and those 2 families are going to go out and change a whole bunch of other families' lives. And that is what this is all about. That's what this family of people is all about. We all, the ones who are really serious about it, who really drink the water and really pay attention to what's going on, they all have the same goal. Like, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Shawn and I are not on the same team. As far as, you know, we're not on the same squad, as he likes to say, but we're out there passing the rock back and forth, slam dunking it, assisting it. And we work together pretty much every day, even though we're not even in the same group. And we, you know, we're kind of the epitome of what this company is all about, is it's about helping people. It doesn't have anything to do with money. It has to do with helping people. And we all know that if we help people, the money will come, the rewards will come, whether it's money or whether it's just the warm feeling that you get in your heart, knowing that you helped somebody today. Yes. It's not, you know, it's like when you give somebody some money that helps them out, you know you're never going to see that money back, and you don't even care. You're just happy that you were able to bring a smile to somebody's face and you were able to help them. And that's really what this is all about. That's why I strive to make this happen 7 days a week, because I don't think that, you know, there's 2 things that I don't think ever take a day off. One is what I call the millionaire mindset. You know, if you want to have the millionaire mindset, you can't ever take a day off from that. You always are thinking positive. You're always thinking help. You're always thinking, you know, whose life can I change today? And, you know, as for me, after, you know, having my last time clock job at the age of 19 years old, and now I'm 53 years young, and I get to wake up every morning and go, I get to change somebody's life today. HooDeeHooo! You know, I mean, who gets that? Who actually gets that kind of joy in their life? Most people, when it's Monday, they're like, oh, it's Monday. Oh, I hate Mondays. Oh, it's Friday. Yay, it's Friday. You know what? Every day's Friday in the life of the Kong family and the people that have the millionaire mindset. And then the whole thought process of being able to help people. Helping people doesn't take a day off. That's why 7 days a week. That's why I want to do this 7 days a week. And, you know, sometimes Saturday and Sunday get taken off because I don't have guests and I don't have, you know, the subject to talk about that day or whatever. But to me, the mindset and the helping people, it just never takes a day off. And that's why I really am so grateful to have this platform, to have this company, to have incredible people like you who jump on board here. And one of my big goals with this, as well as sharing stories and helping change people's lives, is to unite people, to get people together, because we don't know who's going to see this. These videos are going to go up onto YouTube. They're going to get shared out for who knows how long. As long as the platform is available, this stuff's going to be getting shared out. And we never know who is going to be interested, and they're going to be like, wow, that Phillip gal, she's freaking awesome. And I want to meet up with her. I want to hook up with her. I want to work with her. I want to go buy a con machine from her. And I want to learn about being as beautiful as she is at 60 years old. and she looks like she's freaking 40 at the best.
No,
And, you know, how do they get in touch with you, Loretta? How do they get in touch with you and your husband? I can't wait to meet him. I would love to get him on the show here sometime in the near future because I want to hear his story too. But how do they get in touch with you? What I like to do is have everybody give out their information, whatever it is they want to give out. If you don't want to give any information, don't. But if you do, please do. Let people know, how do they hook up with you? How do they work with you? And real quick, for anybody, if she gives out her Facebook address and you're going to get in touch with her on Facebook, you make sure that when you send that friend request, you also send a message saying that you saw her on the Kong Family Show and you are in love and you want to meet her and you want to work with her and you want to learn from her and all that good stuff, right? Okay, make sure you send that message along with any friend request. And with that,
absolutely, JJ, because I'll tell you what, you know, just like you said, you and Shawn, you know, you're not on the same squad, but you know, neither is Sam and I, and he is coming and he's helping our team. So that's what, do you know of any other business? And I'm talking about a network marketing business that would do this. No, because they are interested in helping their team. Yeah. This is a family. Yeah. And that's why we do what we do, because we have got to get the word out to as many people as possible. So this business is truly like no other business out there. And so, yes, no, my name is not Philip Harp. I would be Loretta McCauley Harp, and that's what I go by on Facebook. You can reach me that way, or you can send me an email. I don't want to give out my phone number because I get a lot of calls as it is anyway. Gosh, the robocallers are out of control. But
can you give your email again? Because we didn't hear your email. We lost your, you must have gotten a phone call because we lost your sound when you gave out your email.
Oh, okay. It's loretta.harp@gmail.com. Yeah, I got I got it on silent, but yeah, it'll still pop in there.
Loretta. May I, honey? Dig this. So you look at a lot of network marketing companies, and a lot of times people will get in and then they fade out and they lose their rank, right?
Yeah.
They go back to square one. So you're talk just briefly about this cat that was on board, getting jiggy with it like Will Smith told him to, na 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 na, and then he disappears. He Caspers on you for a year and a half. When he came back, did he lose his 4A rank after that whole hiatus? Can you share that?
No, that's what is so amazing, and he knows that. You know, he knew that there was a little problem, but yeah, he is right back in the saddle, right back in the saddle. And so that is why he came back. Because let me tell you, this guy is a fantastic networker. He was in, I don't remember the name of the vitamin company that he was in, but you know what? What do you take your vitamins with? Water, unless you're a nut, you know, and then you drink it with soda. But, you know, I mean, yeah, there you go. There you go. But just like, you know, just like these people that do these shakes, and I'm not saying anything bad about them at all. I think they're fantastic, but you don't want to take it and mix it with tap or bottled water, for heaven's sakes. You're paying good money, a lot of good money for a good vitamin, a good supplement for your body that you're getting very, very little out with the common water, when you could get so much more and it be bioavailable to your entire body. Like Sam said, though, you don't want to get too scientific, but once they see the difference, then you know, they might wake up. But the thing about those companies, they're binary. So truly, the person that gets in up at the top is the one who makes all the money. This is not like that. I mean, we had a guy that far surpassed us because he was a doctor. And whenever they saw what he did, you know, what happened with him, holy cow, he sold, I don't know how many machines just like that. He was probably selling 5 and 6 a day because of what they saw, you know, happen with him. So, you know, we're not all doctors, so people don't listen to us like that. But, you know, the thing about it is you keep going. You keep going and you show people. And I know that I've got a good friend who is in the business, but I'll tell you what, she has had at least 4, if not 5 different things. And I'm sorry, but I'm not a used car salesman. I can't show you this and then turn around and go, hang on, what about this right here? You know, I don't want to do that. I'm solid. I know what works for me, and you will never pull me away from what I've got right here, period. In a nutshell, 0, mic drop.
Yeah, amen. That is exactly it, you know, because I got involved with my first network marketing company when I was about 19 years old. My next older brother, 4 years older than me, he got me into that company. And he's gotten me probably into like 4 different network marketing companies over the years, because I've always hated working for other people. I've always been an entrepreneur and of that spirit. And so I've tried all kinds of things. I've probably been in at least 15 different network marketing companies. I've been in Amway. I've been in pretty much, you know, so many of them, right? Yeah. Well, my next older brother, he didn't want anything to do with this. Why? Because it's a network marketing company.
Yep.
I'm like, you got to be kidding me, dude. After all the network marketing companies that you have gotten me into over all these years, you won't take a look at this because it's a network marketing company and it's just water, and water is just water. But I actually got him. I want to share this story with you, Loretta, because I like to share this story because I think it's the epitome of what I'm about. And, you know, my brother, my next older brother, he came to a job that I did, and he was getting a shower door on a shower that I put in, and he got done with his measurements, and I started doing this kind of thing at him. I'm looking at him, looking up at his face, and going. I reach up and I go, "What's that?" Because he was like, "What are you looking at? What are you looking at?" And I reach up like this and I grab him by his double chin. Because he's getting a double chin. He's only 4 years older than me. He's got a double chin. And I go, what in the F is that, dude? And then I grab him by his big old beer gut. He looks like he's got this big old beer gut. But he doesn't drink beer. He's a good Mormon. He doesn't drink any beer. He doesn't drink anything except soda pops and, you know, poisonous water. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And so he decides that he's going to do the 21-day challenge. He's going to get himself a machine and try it for 21 days. And if he wants to send it back, I'm going to take care of his restocking fee. But he's got to try it, and he decides that he's going to do it. And during the 2 weeks or so that he didn't end up, you know, he hadn't gotten the machine yet. Well, this opportunity came to get one and get it at half price through a good source where he was actually going to get a good machine. There was a Kangen water distributor who's been on the Kong Family Show, and he was putting one of his K8s up for sale just because he needed the money for whatever it was that he needed it for, but he was selling it for cheap. And like $2,400 to get a K8. Wow. That's in really super good shape. And I told my brother, hey man, you don't want anything to do with the business. So, you know, here's an opportunity. No, you don't get the 21-day challenge. No, I'm not going to do it. And he that. But you can get this machine. Well, guess what? My brother bought that machine. And I'm going to go put it in for him. And I'm tickled pink. I'm the one who told him to go get that machine. He's not going to be in, you know, there's no business involved. There's no commissions involved. But the point is he's got his machine. Yeah. He's got his machine. And that's the important part. I don't care about the money. I care about that people get the machine, that they get it and they use it. And wherever it goes with my brother, you know, I believe that what's going to happen is he's going to want another machine. He, you know, because we know how this works. We know how this works. When you start drinking this water, you're going to want to be part of the business. You're going to have to be part of the business. And so, you know, I think it's important for people to understand out there that this is how we are. This is how 99% of the people that are involved with the Kong family are. They don't care who, where, what, or why. They just want people to get their machines. They understand how important this is for our lives. And I am guessing that Mr. Philip Harp just came onto the scene, and I was hammered. So let's get that boy back on here. We want to see his smiling mug.
He had to run to the restroom. He just got back from a so like I was talking about. So there is, you know, if anybody says, you know, well, I don't have anybody to talk to, you know, I don't know where to go or what to do. Get on Facebook. Look at the events in your area. There is always something that you can do. I'm in like 3 different groups. I'm in the Women in Networking. I'm in BNI, although I'm getting ready to switch to the mob group. I'm in, it's called Hustle and Heels. It's a women's group. But I go to these after-hour events and network with these people. And you know what? Philip is really, really good at this, at getting out there and networking. And he meets people all the time. And I'll tell you what, he sold several machines doing this. So it's not, you know, it's not that we don't have anybody to talk to. It's about getting out there and letting people see who the heck you are and what you got, you know? Because when they see that and they know you're not switching to something else, that's just it. Get over here, honey. Here, hang on, guys.
Get over here, honey.
Philip knows
Get over here, honey.
Shawn.
That's my dog.
Wetz.
Hey, look at that handsome devil.
Glad to have you. We've been busting your girl's chops this whole time because it comes up as Philip Harp. And I was telling her that's the best looking Philip I've ever met. And then you show
Isn't
up.
that the truth?
And you're both good looking little shindigs, I tell you that. How are you, bud? Great.
I'm good, buddy.
Hey, thanks for letting her turn loose on us like a rabid badger. She's bringing the truth like people need it. Just slap your head truth, you know, just
She can do
upside the tough Shazam. I love it.
I hope it's recorded. I'll go back and watch it.
It is recorded. You're going to dig it without a shovel there, PH. Hey, and that's another thing, too. I get a kick out of this guy. I don't know if you remember, but I think it was in Vegas or wherever we were last, and I'm like, your name, your initials suit this whole water thing perfectly. PH is in the house talking about the PH.
We have a lady, Shawn, we have a lady that calls him Mr. PH.
Oh, yeah.
He is the PH.
Sir
Yeah.
PH. Let's have you knighted in Magic Style as Sir PH 9.5.
You know, Philip, I got to tell you, buddy, I love you. I haven't met you, but after hearing what Loretta had to say about how you were going to have it, you were going to have Kong, and she thought it was a bunch of nonsense, just like I did. And you right there, you do better, and you got it. You were like, no, we're getting this. Heck with the refrigerator, you know, or the washer or dryer or whatever it was. You know, no, we're getting this Kong machine. That's what we're doing. And Philip, I can't wait. We got to get you on the show here sometime in the near future. Hopefully.
All right.
Sooner than later. We'd love to have you on, and I want to hear your story. I want to hear what you have to say about it all, and that would just be great, because ultimately that's what our goal is around here, is we want to share stories with people, because these stories are so incredibly powerful. You know, I didn't care about all the technicalities of it, and quite frankly, I wasn't even willing to listen. I didn't want anything to do with it. Water's water. This is ridiculous, Tim. This is crazy. You know, my buddy Tim McGaffin, you know, yeah, whatever, dude. Water's water. This is just stupid. But I never said anything because I never looked, and I don't ever say anything about something that I have no clue about. I just bypass it and go, you know, whatever. But then that story came along. And that story changed my life forever because it turned on the light in my little brain cell here. And I had to get involved after I learned about it. And so I love it. I think it's so cool that you saw the light and helped turn the light on for your sweetie. And that's huge. That touches me big time in my heart. And I look forward to the time that we can get you on here and share your story out. And yes, this is being recorded, and it's going to go up onto YouTube on the Kong Family Show channel on YouTube. You can go maybe subscribe to the Kong Family Show. And yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to share these stories and get them out there because we know how powerful they are. And, like we always begin this show with, we are the Kong family, and we have a really simple goal. We just want to change the world. And Shawn, once again, how is it that we're doing that?
One glass of 9.5 at a time.
Yes, and one lightning bolt in a box. Yeah. And one awesome set of individuals at a time coming in and sharing their awesome stories. And this has been a really wonderful one because it's not only hit on the health side of the equation, but also the business side of the equation, because this really is something special in that regard. In both of those regards, it's something really special. And coming from somebody who's been in so many different network marketing companies and never made any money at any of them, and that's actually been one of my hurdles, is the fact that I've been involved with so many of them over the years that, I don't have any warm market because they're all like, oh yeah, whatever, Jay, what horse are you riding in on now? Giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, giddy up, and I almost envy the people that have never been involved with any network marketing companies, and this is the first one they got involved with because they literally got involved with the cream of the crop. Yeah. And the most special thing in the world. And, to all those people that they're like, I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't know anybody. Well, do you know anybody that drinks water?
Yeah.
Anybody? Do you know anybody? Believe it or not, I had one person who said to me, no, I don't.
As she's looking for the door. No, again, you can't beat a dead horse. You can only open it. You can only put the food out there. You feel like a guy at a ritzy party where, you're the server walking around and they either want a little horse Duvrays or they don't. You know what I mean? But if they taste one of those delectable bits of goodness, then they're going to be on it and grabbing the tray. So, every once in a while, that little extra, shovel at them might work. But no, listen, you guys, here's what's funny about this. You look at something like this, it'll be hour and 45 minutes here shortly. And it's been jam-packed with just addressing skepticism. I love how she addressed the skepticism, which we all seem to be part of. You know what I mean? It's like, she's addressed that. And to me, that's a big part of it because not only did she go through all that, but she addressed it. And these two guys, just worked together and they had their back and forth. But at the end of the day, their flow was always kind of similar. And that's why, in all honesty, they use the word power couple. There ain't a power couple on the damn planet in this enagic business that greases my zerts as much as these two kids right here. These guys are, no, they don't. You guys are my favorite, and God bless Ramona and those guys. You got some great stunt doubles and sidekicks, but you guys are driving that bus down there as far as I'm concerned, and I love you for it. I love your compassion. I love your heart. I love your purpose, and I love your diligence, and at the end of the day, your conviction just becomes you guys. And that's everything about what we're doing here. And I was going to say, so it's an hour and 45 for the old school. We can handle this. We can watch it. You got to think of all these ADD all-stars that can't watch nothing more than a 5-10 minute clip. So I'm going to preface things a little bit and say if there's ever been close to 2 hours of just absolute dynamite or lightning in a box personified, it's the Philip Harp show. The Loretta Harp show.
Oh, we love you guys.
They're amazing.
we're glad you came on. I'm glad that gorgeous hunk of a man jumped in your pocket right there to end this thing. I couldn't ask for nothing better. So, yeah, I missed the shit out of you guys. Sorry to say that. I mean, I know who's watching. I missed the dickens out of you guys. And I can't wait to see the both of you. And, you know, in the near future, I'm working on San Diego, but I'm juggling things in life like a God blessed circus act, I'm telling you. But I haven't dropped any of the bowling pins yet, so I can be grateful for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but no, way to come on board last minute. Way to step up. You know, it's like Loretta, she hasn't even been in the game yet. We didn't even start her early, but it's like overtime, fourth quarter, and it's like, hey, I need you to get in there and put up some shots because we need to score. And she come into this thing like Steph Curry, just pulling from way downtown, flashing nets like they're water. And we've had a dynamite show. I can't be more grateful. I can't be more appreciative and humbled by your willingness to share with us. You guys are beautiful. I love every bit of you, and I just keep you guys in my prayers all the time. And, yeah, I cannot wait to see you guys in the flesh sometime.
Amen,
Yes. Ditto. Ditto, our friend. Yeah.
Well, as usual, you guys, don't forget your hugs. This is how you hug yourself. You know how to hug other people, but this is how you hug yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. We're going to take it all and give it back to you guys. You're both awesome.
I love you so much
for joining us. Yes,
can't wait to meet you in
Yeah,
real life.
Sounds good.
Do a real life hug and have a real group hug. And thank you once again so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to join the Kong Family Show and share some magic. And thank you once again. And have yourself an incredible rest of the day. Go out there and change some lives. That's what we do.
Absolutely.
It comes like that, right?
Yes.
And we'll tag you two kids in this whole link here. Use it, share it. I mean, a big part of that, obviously, it's for the whole deal, but at the end of the day, this just gives you a forum. This just gives you something to send somebody that might be skeptical, that might be not wanting to deal. Watch this show. You're either coming back with your dancing shoes on or you're meeting me out on the dance floor so we can get down on it like Kool and the Gang, so we can shake our booty like, you know, Casey and the Sunshine Band and get your ass off the punch bowl over there on the side with all the chaperones, you know, or stay there. But we're out here boogieing and we're getting after it. And I love the music you play, young lady, for real.
Love it, you guys.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Love you
Good
guys.
luck, guys. Yep.
All
God
right.
bless.
Okay.
Giddy up.
Have a great day, you guys. Thanks again.
All right.
All righty.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye for now.
Rock and roll.